Imagine a machine. It's totally silent, super sleek, and just incredibly efficient. But here's the thing. It doesn't run on gas or electricity. It runs on something we all have in abundance, forgetfulness. And every single month, it just quietly goes to work.
And chances are you're hooked up to this machine right now. Maybe it's a streaming service you haven't touched in weeks, or a gym membership you totally forgot about. Or what about that free trial for an app you don't even use anymore? This isn't some accident. It's a system. It's the subscription trap, a business model that has been carefully, methodically engineered to drain your money slowly and silently.
So, in this explainer, we're going to dismantle this machine piece by piece. We're going to look at how we even got here, explore the psychological tricks that keep the whole thing running, tally up the hidden financial cost, and, most importantly, figure out how you can finally break free. Okay, first things first. To really get this, we have to understand that there's been this fundamental seismic shift in how we buy things. The whole idea of ownership has been quietly swapped out for something that's way more profitable for companies. Think about it. Not that long ago, our economy was mostly transactional. You'd go to a store, buy a box of software for, say, $50, and bam, it was yours, forever. But for businesses, that was a real problem. A one-time sale means a one-time profit. So they completely flipped the script. They stopped selling you a product and started renting you access.
And this created the absolute holy grail of modern business, recurring revenue. I'm talking about a predictable, never-ending stream of cash from the very same customers month after month. It's what investors crave, and it's the engine driving this entire subscription economy. But, just changing the price tag isn't enough to really trap you. For that, they needed a whole psychological arsenal.
Which brings us right to section 2, the psychological arsenal. This is where it gets kind of sneaky. We're talking about the subtle but really powerful tactics that are designed not just to get you to sign up, but to make sure you never, ever leave. So the first trick is actually pretty simple. It's called price anchoring. I mean, $10 a month just sounds way cheaper than a one-time $50 fee, right? 10 is a smaller number than 50. Our brain sees that and immediately thinks, hey, I'm getting a deal here. But are we really? Let's actually do the math for the long haul. Over 10 years, that cheaper service, it costs you $1,200. That is a staggering 24 times the original price. And the real kicker? The moment you stop paying, you are left with absolutely nothing. And this leads us to probably their most dangerous weapon, the friction imbalance. I mean, just think about how ridiculously easy it is to sign up for something. It's one click, it's Face ID, they basically grease the hinges on the door and practically shove you inside. But now, try to leave. All of a sudden, that slick one-click technology just disappears. This is where you run into so-called dark patterns, which are sometimes called a roach motel. It's easy to check in, but it's impossible to check out. They hide the cancel button. They force you to call someone during specific business hours. They make you talk to a retention specialist. They do this because they know if it takes more than a few minutes, you'll probably just give up and say, I'll do it later. And we all know later never actually comes. And of course, the free trial plays into this perfectly. It exploits a little quirk in our brains called the endowment effect. Basically, once you've had access to all those premium features for a week, your brain starts to feel like you own them. And losing them feels like a real, genuine loss, which is psychologically about twice as painful as the joy you felt when you first got them. See what they did? They turned a potential gain into a fear of loss. It's brilliant, and it's deviant. Okay, so now let's talk about the real-world cost of all this, because this isn't just some mind game. It has massive, very tangible effects on your finances. And a lot of the time, you don't even realize it's happening. So get this, studies have found this huge awareness gap. The average person thinks they spend maybe $80 a month on subscriptions, but the reality? The actual average is over $200. So where in the world is all that extra money going?
Well, it's disappearing into something called gray charges. These are those tiny little recurring payments, $2.99 here, $4.99 there, that are just small enough that they don't set off any alarm bells when you're quickly scanning your bank statement. It is literally death by 1,000 cuts.
And believe me, those little cuts add up. That $120 gap between what we think we spend and what we actually spend, if that money was invested over 20 years, instead of just being drained away, it could have grown into nearly $100,000 in lost potential wealth. That's insane. But maybe the most insidious trap of all is something called ecosystem lock-in. This is where you buy a physical product, like a smart doorbell or even a car, but its most important features won't even work unless you're also paying a monthly fee. You own the hardware, sure, but you're just renting its ability to actually do anything. So, how do we escape this machine? How do we finally take back control? Let's get right into the actionable stuff you can do to plug these leaks and jam the gears for good. Okay, there are 3 key steps. Step 1, a radical audit. Seriously, print out your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements and go through every single line. Number 2, use burner cards. These are virtual payment cards that you can set with like a $1 limit. Use them for any free trial. When the company tries to auto bill you, the card just gets declined. Problem solved. And third, practice subscription hopping. You do not need 5 streaming services at once. Pick one, binge what you want to watch, cancel it, and then move on to the next one. The mindset here is simple. Be absolutely ruthless. If you have not used a service in the last 30 days, kill it. Just get rid of it. Don't fall for that little voice in your head that says, oh, but I might use it later. You can always sign up again in 2 seconds if you really, truly need it. Remember, the friction is designed to be a one-way street. And this is about so much more than just saving a few bucks. It's about pushing back against a massive societal shift, away from a culture of ownership, which builds security and real assets, toward a culture of usership. And in a usership economy, you're always insecure. If things get tough financially, you don't just lose luxuries. You could lose access to your photos, your personal files, even your home security system. Ultimately, the entire subscription model is a bet. It's a calculated wager. These companies are betting that you're too busy, too distracted, or that you just won't notice the slow, steady drain from your account. They're betting you'll always choose the path of least resistance. So the question we're left with is this. In an economy that is literally built on your inaction, what is the true price of apathy?